Cusco sits in the Andes Mountains at about 11,000 feet and has about 500,000 people. It is predominantly Catholic and it is steeped in idolatry. In February of 2013, Joe Martinez and I partnered with Warner Pancorbo to start a church in Cusco. Warner is a native of Cusco and a Heart Cry Missionary Society missionary. Warner pastored a healthy church north of Lima for about 12 years, and he had been praying for about 3 years for the opportunity to move back to Cusco and start a church, but everything failed until God providentially brought us together. We have services at our church from 10 to 1 every Sunday and a prayer meeting every Wednesday night. We are active in teaching and preaching, evangelism, discipleship, and fellowship. Once a month we have a big potluck and the whole church hits the streets to share the gospel after. We baptized our first 2 converts in May of 2014, and the church continues to grow, and we have baptized other people since then. God is blessing his people, and we are seeing lives changed and disciples made.
Hello, my name is Joe Martinez. This is my wife, Janie Martinez. This is my son, Christian Martinez. And this is Micah. This is 5 years old. Christian's going to be 9. Is that right?
He's 8.
He's going to be 9. I said he's going to be 9. We've been married for 11 years, and we live here in Cusco. We've been here for around 3 years. We do discipleship here. We have the opportunity to visit a few of the kids at the shelter juvenile detention center here to preach the gospel. I can get in and one can get in because we have degrees in psychology, even though we just go in there and preach the gospel. It's been very beneficial for the opportunity we have. And we do a lot of discipleship. And discipleship is going, living life with the people and investing in them and they investing in us. It's becoming a family. Sometimes it's difficult and sometimes it's challenging, but the part of investing in one another is what Christianity is about. So we can demonstrate the gospel to people and to those around. Cusco is saturated with Catholicism and mysticism. They have their own beliefs and then they just mix that in with the Catholicism. So that's the uphill battle we deal with a lot of idolatry and physical idolatry, whether it's bulls, eagles, condors, whatever it is. There's a lot of physical idolatry that we have to deal with here.
Hermanos, buenos días, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Werner Pancorbo Pareja, mi esposa Lupita Díaz Díaz. Somos una familia que tenemos 17 años de casado. Tenemos 3 hijos. Mi hijo mayor se llama Josué, tiene 16 años. Mis gemelos tienen 10 años, Eliseo y Eleazar. Damos gracias a Dios por mi familia y las bendiciones que Dios me ha dado durante estos 17 años de casado. Por la misericordia de Dios he sido pastor por estos 17 años.
Hi, I'm Scott Doherty, and this is my wife Kim, and our 2 daughters Reagan and Emmy. We have 2 boys that are in the United States, older boys. They're both in the Air Force. And we started this church in Cusco with the Martinez family and with the Pancorbos. And we've been here probably 3.5 years or so. And things seem to be going very well. We just had another baptism today. And God seems to be working in the church. Another work that our church is doing here is in partnership with my friend Scott Dollar from Tennessee is the work in the jungle. It's in Satipo, the central Peru. We went in about 2.5 years ago for the first time to a village called Chembo. And we were the first white missionaries ever to go in there. And lots of amazing things happened. It's a group of Ashaninka Indians that we've been working with. They almost had no understanding of the gospel. We work with another village called Nazareth as well. And over the last few years, we've been going in there at least 4 times a year, teaching them, preaching in the evenings. And they seem to be getting a better understanding of the gospel. At the beginning, it was completely closed for us to come in here. And now we're the only ones that are allowed to go into these villages to teach. And it seems like God's working each people. We're starting a Reaching and Teaching Center with David Sills in May as our first conference. And it's basically like a seminary that we're going to start. We do 3 conferences a year for a week at a time. We bring all the native Ashaninka pastors from the jungle out to Satipo so that we could teach them for a week. And they seem to be very excited about that. There's some of them that are already saying that they want to be missionaries from their own villages to the other villages that are all around them in the Amazon. And this area of the jungle is still pretty remote. It takes us a long time, sometimes 4 days to get into these places from Cusco. And there's even uncontacted people in this area of the jungle, and just as they call it the red zone, because there's still terrorists and narco traffickers there. So it's a very cut off place from the world, but God has enabled us to go in there through His providence, making these contacts so that we can continue to teach them the gospel.
Another project that we have started since we moved to Peru is Joe Martinez and I have bought land outside of Cusco, about 14 miles, in a village called Simatauca. We bought one of their little chacras, their little farms. So there isn't any other houses by us at all. Our plan is to build houses together and be able to watch over each other's stuff and just live out here with the Quechuan people. And we've already built good relationships with the people, and as we live out here, we'll start to get to know them more and more. We've done medical campaigns in their village. We've also done chocolatadas, which is around Christmas time. We bring toys and hot chocolate and this panettone, which is like a fruit cake. We've done that. So the community's really accepted us, and they've not really bothered my shop or anything. They have not really stolen anything. So they've accepted us, and it's been a real big blessing just to be out here in the country, to get out of the city. And our next project is to drill a well, which hopefully we're going to do in May. After that, we're going to hopefully start working on the house.
Lord, I'm tired, and so tired from traveling. This straight and narrow is so much harder than I thought.
We've been heading up the trail now for a couple, 2.5 hours maybe. Got another couple hours to go, and we're going to preach the gospel, which is why we came, and head out in a couple of days.
There's a cloud of witnesses, the ones who've run this race. And even louder than my fears, they're crying, warrior, lift your face and keep running, keep running. Don't lose heart, don't you